For a long time now, I've been trying to find the best way to get rid of everything in my water. Fluoride, and I mean, you name it, everything. Just make it pure. And, you know, people say you need the minerals in the water, but really, you're not getting that many minerals from your water. You're getting the majority of it from your food. So if you need more minerals, water's not going to help. You're better off taking something else. I had heard about this, zero water. And let me tell you, I read reviews, did my homework, and I decided to give it a try. Some people were saying that the water tastes like fish, or it tastes kind of fishy or something. I didn't understand it until I bought it. This was great. They actually give you a little detector to kind of show you what's in the water. And you set it right up front here. So the problem is, these are the filters. Great filter. It does take everything out. I've seen plenty of tests where they actually take the water and actually ship it to get lab tested, and actually does get rid of the majority of the fluoride and the majority of everything. So it was great. I loved it. Problem is, as soon as this filter starts getting bad, you start tasting that fishy water. And then you test it, it's pretty bad. So just to give you an example of how long one filter, this filter, I'll put some pricing up here. You buy it in packets of 3 for this much. And honestly, I don't use a whole lot of water from here. I use some throughout the day, and then I fill up my little container when I go to the gym every day. So it's really not that much water. I would have to change this out twice a month. That's a lot. So just tiring. Plus, once it starts getting to that part where it's not good anymore, it tastes really bad. So it's a big no. I also did the Brita for a long time, but Brita, it just doesn't work. It doesn't really do much. Plus, it really does not get rid of the fluoride. That was a huge part. So I wanted to get rid of the fluoride, get rid of everything else. So no to the Brita, which is too bad because I bought like a huge Costco packet of the filters, and it cost me a lot of money, and they all kind of went to the garbage. So Brita, no. Zero water, no. Very expensive to keep up and kind of a pain in the ass. So here's what I did. I went with a water distiller. Now, I had 2 things I was really looking at. I was looking at this machine here, which is a reverse osmosis, which actually would have been great. But if you really dive into the reviews and people talking about it, they had tons of issues with it, kind of just going bad, electrical stuff. So this is about as simple as it gets. Also great for fluoride, and it gets rid of pretty much everything. This is the Megahome. So there are other machines that actually copied. There are other machines that have actually copied this, the Megahome. This Megahome is roughly $300. There are other machines that are a lot cheaper, but I went with the Megahome just because I just trust it a little more. The other machines actually are almost identical to this, but you just can't see what's inside. So the really great thing about this is that they don't use any plastics at all. Unlike some of the other companies like Brita or this, they use no plastics, so you can completely get rid of microplastics. Everything is glass and stainless. You can buy the plastic version of it, but why do that, right? So let's get this out. Of course, user's manual. Some other specifics, and let me see. We'll go into it later. This, carbon filters, nice. So after it's gone through pretty much everything, there's a little space where you can actually put these carbon filters. So it's the final step. Let's open this up from the bottom and we'll slide it out. So once again, this is the Megahome, right? So as I mentioned, there's other versions of this. But the Megahome is, I guess, the original one. Comes with a power cord. Power cords are a little funny on this. Comes with water residue cleaner, so citric acid for cleaning. After you purify several batches of water, it does about 1 gallon at a time. You run that through it, and it should clean everything for you. And there it is. The Megahome. Now, at first glance, you're probably thinking, well, where does it pour? Where's the little container? It should be inside, actually. So this top actually plugs into the side here. Little tab says, please plug both cords. Get rid of some of the styrofoam up there. There's a reset button up front. Now let's pull this off, lift it up. All stainless steel inside. Even the, I'm gonna get this up close, but even where the water actually filters, at the very end, this little spout is actually stainless steel, which is awesome. So your water should not be touching any plastic, which is great. Now inside, they're gonna ship you this little box here, which is the handles for the water container. These little straps for the water container. And the water container itself. So everything's protected, looks good to me. Here we have the cover for the top, which actually is plastic. However, it doesn't actually come into contact with your water. So now this by itself, if you break it, I believe is about $60. So I don't know why they made it so thin. Now inside here, that's about it. All perfectly nice little stainless steel. I think what I'll do is I'll record this, but I'll speed it up so you guys don't have to suffer. All right, let's put it together. There you go. That took a little while because there are no instructions on that one portion of the thing. It tells you how to do a whole lot of other stuff, but not how to put the handle on. It just shows that the handle goes on. Interesting. And it leaves you a whole bunch of space at the very end for memos. Probably to write about how angry you are that there were no instructions. Probably. Anyhow, that's how it goes. Now, I got my filter inside there. So once you actually got your water inside, this is all connected. This actually gets put in, so your little spout goes right there. I don't know if you guys can see it. That's exactly where the spout is. So your water drips in. And my understanding is that it takes about... It doesn't actually say how long it takes to distill the water, a full thing. So we're going to give it a shot. I'm going to time it, see how long it takes. Let's go set it up in the kitchen and put it to work. You should actually run this about twice before you actually start using it. So let's go plug this in, fill it up with water, and do our first filter. This is actually just a test run. So there is a fill line right on the inside. I'll show you guys later. But there is a fill line. I'm actually right up to it. Now, what I'll do is slide the top on. This actually has the plug. Now, it does have a little hood to cover this piece here, but we don't need that right now, so I'm gonna flip it backwards like a hat. Tuck it in, just a tad. Make sure it all lines up. Yes, it does. Perfect. Yes, that is a signed bottle of effing vodka, signed by 50 Cent. Pretty cool, yeah. And let's time it. It is 7:53 p.m. right now. We'll come back as soon as it starts doing it and when it's almost done. Okay, so that took about 40 minutes. We're at 8:36, so right around 8:30, 8:35, it started dripping a little bit, so I don't know if you guys can see it. I'm gonna try to get up a little closer. The water comes out pretty hot. This is what the whole thing sounds like. It's just a fan, really. Of course, water heats up, so this tank is actually pretty hot. It evaporates the water, runs through the condenser, cools down at the top, and then drips down. So it is 10:53, and the sound has picked up. It is extremely warm. And looks like we're a little more than halfway up. So yeah, let me grab a little bit of this. Yep. That was all in the water. It's crazy. Of course, this is Texas, so we do have some pretty hard water. But there's all your microplastics and other garbage. Okay, so a few things. It's been about a week since I started this video. I opened this up. I actually used it several times. So now I know what I like, what I don't like, what I changed, what I wanted, what didn't come with it. So let's talk about some of those things. First thing, I don't feel like it's enough water. I do wish the tanks were bigger, but then if it were bigger, it'd be kind of a pain. Second, I don't like the fact that it takes 4 hours. 4 hours, actually a little over 4 hours to do a full tank. So plugs in and it drips. So one drip at a time. I understand that's how it works, and it's just what it is, but I get a little impatient. So you start wondering, is reverse osmosis better because it's less energy? Is it better because well, is it cheaper? You buy filters, but you don't use electricity really. How much better? You know, I actually buy reverse osmosis water from the store sometimes, so to fill up like the 5-gallon tanks, 5-gallon jugs, and the 3-gallon jugs. So we'll talk a little bit about that. But yeah, to fill this up, 4 hours. So I do drink about one of these a day, believe it or not. Seems like a lot, but with coffee, water for the gym, and then just water daily, pretty close to about one of these. So I ended up running this about once a day, and yeah, I did find some things I didn't like. So let's talk about some of those things. Okay, first I mentioned it takes forever. So I can't just plug it in. There is no automatic off switch. So I fill up the tank, I put this thing underneath it, and then I have to be home for 4 hours. So, or at least at the 4-hour mark, so I could turn this off, because I don't want it to keep running. It doesn't have like an automatic switch that turns off that I know of. So I'm afraid that if I let it run for too long, once it's done with all the water, it'll just destroy the insides. So I don't want to do that. And my fix to that is actually this. This actually cost me roughly $12. I ordered it. It's actually a plug, and I'll link it down below. I found it on Amazon. I was just thinking Christmas. You know, people set up the Christmas lights to automatically go on or off or automatically go off. And so I looked at that, and this is actually a pretty neat little tool. Very inexpensive. You put the timer, you tell it how long you want it to actually run. You hit confirm, starts running. And I have it set for about 4 hours. So at the 4-hour mark, it shuts off. Perfect. I can let this run while I go to work. That was pretty awesome. At $300, I'm a little disappointed that they don't have like an automatic switch that turns off on this. But I got to be honest with you. Part of me says I'm disappointed, but then the other part of me says I'm kind of glad they didn't, because the more electronics, the more can go wrong with it. So I'm actually kind of glad it's very simple. And this wasn't very expensive, so easy fix. The other thing is, I drink about one of these a day, or pretty close to one a day, so it was kind of a pain. So what I did is I actually ran it pretty much most all day a few times, and then I ran it overnight, and I actually filled up a 3-gallon water jug so I could just kind of fill from there, because I didn't want to have to keep doing it. So that way I only have to kind of run this thing like a couple times a week. So it's easier on me. It's better. So I kind of like that. Now, the other thing is it's pretty loud. It's pretty loud when it's running. So I'm kind of lucky. My room's kind of far away from the kitchen, so I don't have to listen to it overnight when it's running. And it just shuts off by itself now because of this awesome little thing. So that's great. But during the day, while I'm working or doing stuff, it does get a little bit loud. I'll actually put a little clip here so you guys can hear how loud it is. So it is 10:53, and the sound has picked up. Besides that, man, is there some stuff in here? I want to show you guys exactly what's in here. So I don't know if you can see that, but that is basically white powder. I'm gonna grab a rag so I can show you guys. It's very interesting. All right, so the top itself, perfectly clean. There's nothing there. It's actually, I grabbed a black one because I think it'll show better. So the top is actually perfectly clean because this is the part that heats up. However, it astonishes me what's in our water. So I know it's kind of hard to see that. I'm gonna bring this up to the camera, get a little closer so you guys can get a better look at it, and then I'll wipe this out and you can see like just how bad it is. All right. Holy smokes, it's crazy. I actually, look at all that stuff. Just sitting there. Just bunch of powder. This isn't all the food that we eat. You know, when we cook with water. Or put our, dang it, that's crazy. So, yes, I clean this out every time I refilled it just because I just want to get rid of this. I'm sure that you can run it a few times without cleaning it. But I just wanted to clean it out every single time. Now, I didn't use the cleaner that I came with. I just used regular soap and kind of wash it out. It doesn't get rid of it perfectly. It did actually come with these cleaners. It's basically citric acid and some other stuff, which every 24 uses, you put some of this in there, you run it, and it's supposed to get rid of all that. I'm sure this is great. I'm sure this is fine, and I will use it. However, I just wanted to do something a little different. So I ordered citric acid, natural food grade citric acid, which is basically what this is. So This will be a little bit better in case I don't clean it perfectly. So I'm gonna run it with this. I'm gonna try it. Hopefully it works. I'll update you guys on the down below in the comments. Let you know how it works. This versus the cleaner it came with. So yeah, you want to clean it about I clean it every time I use it. Not that hard because it actually comes off and pretty easy to handle. But every 24 uses, you want to use the citric acid. I just can't believe it. I just can't believe it. All that stuff that's in there. It's crazy. So the other thing about this is it does produce some heat. So, you know, really wasn't that bad. Underneath it was not that bad, but I did raise it and I put it on top of some other stuff just so it's not touching the countertop that I have. You never really want to run something that's too hot too long on any countertop. So I kind of purchased something to kind of put this on and for the countertop to be able to breathe so it's not getting destroyed, because I do run this about once a day or so. For the actual filtration tests or for the water testing, I looked into sending the water in, both actually with reverse osmosis, sending some of this in and sending some of my tap water in just as a test to see what the differences are. And it was kind of expensive. It was $150 or so each to get them lab tested. So I decided not to do that. I don't want to spend $450, $500 to test that yet. Maybe in the future. So I do actually have this TDS tester. What TDS is total dissolved solids. So it tests the solids in there to see what it is. Now, I will say this TDS tester with the original zero water filter, for 2 weeks, it would actually give you 0 on the water, which was awesome. Just not necessary. You know, you don't have to be 0 on it. I put this under my tap water, and here's the results. I also test this with some reverse osmosis water that I had left over. So here's the results for that. Now, just for fun, I also have some mineral water that I tested. So here's the results for the mineral water. I was actually kind of surprised. Now, the total dissolved solids in the filtered water with this, here's the results for that. I would say that's pretty darn good. I mean, honestly, that's pretty much perfect. So you can see tap water versus mineral water versus filtered water, and even reverse osmosis water that I purchased. I'm going to go buy some more reverse osmosis water, just double check the test, make sure when I first get it, it's the same versus one that's been sitting around for about a week or so. So that was pretty amazing. So I love this, honestly. It's small. Now, one thing I wish I could do is I wish I could purchase a cheaper version of this, a copy of it, and I can test it one against the other. I don't want to spend another $150 on that, though. Maybe in the future I'll do that. I do know that this actually has metal running throughout the whole thing. So it has the metal on the inside, the metal inside, everything the water touches is all metal. Even the spout itself is metal. So the only thing that's not metal is that little filter that you put inside, which is normal. So some of the cheaper ones, I believe, have plastics in it. You can actually get this one with a plastic container. I went with the glass container because, of course, it's better. Last but not least is water storage in the fridge. So I don't want to leave this in my fridge and then keep using it. And then once I need new water, I'm without water for 4 hours. And then again, it's hot water. So then you're without cold water for another period of time. So what I did is I actually ordered a water container. Didn't work out for me. It didn't really work out for me. I'll show you what I got. So I wanted to order something with glass, so that's what this is. And this actually has a metal spout and metal on the inside, and it seemed perfect online. Just a tin top. So it seemed perfect online. Downside is, of course, I bought it from Amazon, and the glass was great. You can see some water swishing around in there. This actually seals the water really well, so it won't leak. It did a great job. Downside is, when I first got it, the inside of this doesn't come attached. So it comes in a little box. The inside of that, the glass was rough, man. It was really rough. So I had to actually put something inside, take some sandpaper, sand that out, clear it out, and then wash it all out completely, make sure there's no more glass in there or little glass pieces. And once I got that, then I put the spout on. Then I realized this spout is actually pretty high for water. So that water that's there, I haven't been able to take it out. So I may be able to figure something out, but I've tried doing this and opening this up and it doesn't come out. So it was kind of a pain in the ass. You could tilt this up so you get more water out of it in your fridge, but I really wasn't liking this. I was really not a fan. So I just went ahead and I used the zero water container. Yes, it's a plastic, but it's really not too bad. Zero water uses it for their stuff, so I'm sure it's completely fine, BPA free and all that. But that's what I went with. So I used that to actually hold my water, and then I just pour it in when this is ready. So overall, is it worth it? Well, it's $300. A good reverse osmosis system is about the same. That will fit under your sink. You do have to replace the filters every once in a while. However, those can run you $20 to $50 a piece. But they'll last, a year, 2 years. Some even last like 3 years. I think some will even go up to like 4 years. You really don't have anything to do with this except for changing out your little carbon filters once in a while, and they're super cheap. So I bought a whole pack for like $20. So there's not a lot to change in this. It's very simple, so I do like it. It'll last me probably forever. If it ever does die, I will let you know. I'll come back on this video and I'll put on the comments when it died so you can see how long it lasted. I do know a lot of the filters out there that are countertop filters that are reverse osmosis. A lot of folks were having issues with the electronics on it. Water, electronics, they never mix, right? So I don't foresee that happening here. This is just a very, very simple unit, so that's why I kind of like it. And I'm kind of glad it didn't come with this, because if this timer gives out, I could just replace it for $20 and not have to replace this for $300. So I do like it. I don't know how I feel about it just yet. I do want to drink perfectly clean water, and I'm tired of going to the store, picking it up, bringing it back, spending all that money. So now the good thing is, I could run, well, you could probably run just about any kind of water in here. So if we ever had like an emergency and something happened where our water is bad, I'm not going to have to worry about it. It's going to filter absolutely everything out of it. So I never have to worry about that. So those are some of the great things about it. Honestly, I'm glad I got it. Sure, it's a big purchase, $300, but I'm glad I got it. Drinking good water, good clean water is important. Getting rid of all the problematic stuff was important to me, so I like it. Do I recommend it? I don't know. You guys let me know. How do you feel about your reverse osmosis systems or the systems that you use? Let me know down below. I might purchase a under the sink reverse osmosis system to try it. So we'll see how that goes. But for now, this is how I'm getting all my water. Anyways, again, I'm back. Finally moved. I think I got rid of the shadow. Can you guys see the shadow back there? So things are good. I do have this all set up to make it easier to record videos. So hopefully you guys will see me a lot more. I do need to do something in the background. This wall color is kind of like a peach color, and it throws the video off a little bit. So maybe I'll hang something up or do something. But for now, this is what I got. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Appreciate you guys following along. Like I mentioned, we're going to be doing some more videos because now we've got the setup all done. I might have to do something about the walls. I think I got rid of the shadows, so let me know if you see anything. We will be needing to hang up something because this peach wall, just not cutting it. So I may have to either paint the walls or hang something up or do something. Maybe some decorations back there. So that'll work out. But thanks again for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Let me know what you guys think and let me know what you use, and we'll talk to you later.